Welcome to Coffee Break Tennis, its own YouTube channel. Who can stop me? Who can stop Roger Federer? That's the big question in today's video. Well, Mr. Goat's here, and I got his goat treats out for him, so he's very excited to be here. All right, folks, I need you guys to comment big time on this one, because I really want to know. Who do you think can step up with all the injury news? If you didn't see it, I'll put that up there. Back at Crunch Time Coaching, I just posted a new video to go with this one. It's like the partner. I update you on the injury news, so if you don't know it, watch that first, then come back here. All these players are injured. If you watch that video, you know I think Djokovic might be the next one to announce he's not playing the Aussie Open. Who can step up? Who's a young gun? Who's a Dimitrov? Maybe a Kyrgios, someone like that you really think can step up. Tell me in the comment section below. Explain why. Don't just say, Kyrgios will beat Fed. Kyrgios will win it. Tell me why. I really want to know. Why do you think they can finally do it? So in today's episode, I'm going to read a little list I made. For some reason, I feel like they could be good. And what do you know? Our buddies at Express actually wrote an article where there's some information in it. At least they got some quotes from Mats Wilander, former great of the sport, who thinks two players have a real chance to win the Aussie Open or beat Federer if they played them. So we'll go to that in a second. But before that, let me tell you guys that Coffee Break Tennis is brought to you by Crunch Time Coaching. Crunch Time Coaching is the ultimate resource for a tennis player. Tennis player's best friend. If you play tennis, you really care about your game, you want to get better, check out Crunch Time Coaching on YouTube. Subscribe to that channel. I'll put a link right up there. That's where you can watch my most recent video to go with this one, and that's where you can go and subscribe to Crunch Time Coaching. So here's a list I made. Gael Monfils, Kevin Anderson, Alexander Zverev, Goffin, Nick Kyrgios, Dimitrov, Rublev. So why did I go with these players? Well, let's look at the results. Monfils and Rublev are going to be playing in a final over in Doha, and Kevin Anderson is in the final over in Pune. So Kevin Anderson, finalist at the US Open, and he's doing good in Australia, so let's not forget about him. Obviously, no one's thinking he's the favorite at the Aussie Open, but I don't think he has a chance against Roger or Rafa, unless Rafa's really hurt. But I do think Kevin Anderson could win some matches at the Aussie Open. I just don't see him beating Roger. Monfils has looked pretty good in Doha, and I'm not going to say he's a favorite or anything like that, but maybe he can make some noise at the Aussie Open. Honestly, I won't be surprised if he loses in the first round. You never know with Monfils. Of course, he's a lot of fun to watch. And then Andrei Rublev, you remember he did well at the US Open. I believe he was a quarterfinalist, at least round of 16. Everyone was talking about Denis Shapo, El Shapo. And Andrei Rublev, he came out of nowhere and did really well. So he's a very young player. I'm not saying he's going to win the Aussie Open. I'm not saying he's going to beat Fed. But he's a young guy to watch out for. So I got a printer for Christmas. Don't have to look at the screen all the time. I'm going to read something from Express. Two players who can upset Roger Federer in a Grand Slam. And what do you know? It's the two players from my list that I didn't talk about because I saved this one for it. David Goffin and Alexander Zverev. So, Express, I give them a hard time. They find one quote somewhere. They make a news story out of it. They put some fluff on top. Then at the bottom, you scroll down. You find the quote from the expert that they're going with. Mats Wilander won a lot of majors. He's an expert. I don't think he's right here, though. Obviously, Alexander Zverev has improved a lot. He looks fit, healthy. This is what Wilander said. Somebody who is clever as he would see the opportunity that everybody is not at 100%. Yeah, everyone knows that. I would think Zverev is waiting in a starting position to try to grab his first major or at least have a great result. So, does Mats Wilander have a point? I mean, obviously, he backed down from his own quote here. At least have a great result. Tried to grab his first major. Nothing definitive there. He's 20 years old. So I just don't see a 20-year-old, even as talented as Alexander Zverev, winning a major right now. I mean, think about it. The last time a 20-year-old won a major, other than Ostapenko last year, but the last time a male 20-year-old won a major, put it on the screen, who do you think? It's Rafa Nadal, 2005. And he looks a lot different nowadays than he did in 2005. Interesting picture. Very beautiful, though. Beautiful hair. Then Wilander goes on to talk about David Goffin. Goffin is one of those guys we haven't really talked about in terms of winning a major, and I have to say in terms of improvement, not just physically, but tactically, he's one who has taken the biggest steps forward. 5 sets, only going to help him. Playing outdoors, only going to help him. He's got more weapons. Mr. Goat, recycle this! We do not waste paper. You know what? I think Wilander has got a real point about David Goffin. I don't think he's going to beat Roger again. I don't think Roger will let that happen. But hey, I didn't think he had a chance. But the reason why I felt that way is because to me, David Goffin really is the baby Fed. I mean, he's like cousin Fed. I mean, Dimitrov is grown-up Fed because he's grown up now. He won the World Tour Finals. David Goffin, let's just call him cousin Fed because his game is very similar to Fed. Great movement, can hit all the shots. Pretty good touch, can volley, not as good as Fed, but he can do everything. David Goffin is a great all-court player, always looking to move forwards and attack. And like Wilander said, these are things he's worked on more recently, developed in his game. In the past, he's been a little more defensive, just a great mover, gets a lot of balls back, kind of like a Gilles Simon from France. Now, to me, he's less Gilles Simon and more Roger Federer. That's why I'm calling David Goffin cousin Fed. I don't think he's going to beat Roger. I don't think he's going to win it. But he's very fit. 5 sets. He can outlast some big guys, like an Alexander Zverev. I would say Goffin can beat him in best of 5 sets because the big, tall guys, even if you're 20 years old, they get tired when you get to that 4th and 5th set, especially. David Goffin, not so much. David Goffin doesn't have the firepower, but he has the instinct to move forward and attack tennis balls. Take balls on the rise. Take balls earlier and close you out. A new thing I'm doing before I film a show, and when I go live, I'll do it too. You can follow me on Twitter at CoffeeBreak10s, T-E-N-S. Couldn't fit the whole word tennis in there. But you can follow me on Twitter, and I'm going to announce before I film shows that I'm going on, and you can tweet me any questions, any news, anything you think I might miss in the show, anything you want to hear me talk about, and we're going to do that right now. Oliver Patton. Let me know if I'm saying it right, Ollie. Patton. Patone. Anyways, I really like Ollie. Ollie tweets a lot of interesting stuff. Goffin on fire. Dimitrov's confidence will be high. Nadal and Djokovic will be rested. I don't know if I agree with that, Ollie. I think Djokovic might not play. I think Nadal is going in not 100%. After what we saw at the World Tour Finals with Nadal, where he comes and he plays one match and then he gets out of there, I know he wanted to get that world #1 trophy, but I don't know. I take his word that he's going to be ready for the Aussie Open and play, but I don't think he's 100%, Ollie. I'm sorry. Let's go to another one. Mark Barger had a great one here. Fed looking right on form. Serve remains ridiculous. Looks to be chilling in about 3rd gear at Hopman Cup. Yeah, right on, Mark. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you see that highlight point right there. I mean, Roger looks good, but like Mark said, Roger looks very relaxed. I mean, he's producing a very high level of tennis at the Hopman Cup, and it looks like he's not even trying that hard. I know he plays like that a lot, but he looks really good. No back issues, nothing like that. Roger's the favorite. In the last video, I put up a poll from Express. It's like 17,000 people answered the poll. 66% said Roger Federer wins another Australian Open. Just a couple weeks away. Comment below, who in the world can stop Roger at this point, other than himself, other than his back? Rule out bad stuff happening. Let's just say Roger plays like he is at Hopman Cup, stays healthy for 2 weeks at the Aussie Open. So hey guys, thanks for watching my first ever Coffee Break Tennis on my own channel. Hit subscribe, help me get this channel going. It's actually an old channel that I made in high school or college, but I never really used it. So be very interesting to see how this channel grows. I'm so excited to be covering a lot of tennis. You're going to see more videos this year than you did last year. And I'm going to be doing videos on Crunch Time and here at Coffee Break Tennis channel. I'm going to do them both for a little bit, but my goal is to transition into all Coffee Break Tennis being right here. Make sure you subscribe right here. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to comment, who in the world can stop Roger Federer? See you guys.